Hey, family. Welcome back to another day's video. I just want to stop and say thank you to everyone who has recently joined my journey by smashing that subscribe button and tapping that post notification bell. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much for giving me a chance. And for those who came back, thanks for rocking with me. Today, we're going to move on along to part 3 of the phone call. I know you guys didn't think it could get any crazier than it already is. But believe me, there's more. So, when we ended the last video, I told you that their twisted way of thinking, and I'm talking about my family members and his friends, was able to conjure up the fact that he was now the victim and I was the perpetrator. Now, I don't know how good and how well they came up with that, considering if you guys take notice, I'm always home when all this foolishness is occurring. But somehow, some way, by the time he take his story to them and they sit down and talk about it, everything get put back on me. So let's get into it. So like I told you guys, the paperwork was going back and forth for about 3.5 weeks. I was so exhausted doing all this, guys, and still having this man try to talk me out of believing that he was at fault all that time. Which he will never convince me, because here we are years later and I'm still stand where I stood back then. It was all his fault. But according to them, it was mine. So I'm doing this paperwork, and again, I am conversating back and forth with this insurance agent. I was able to speak on the phone with the adjuster. Like I told him, he was going to take the blame for that accident because he let the third car go. They had us send for the police report, and just like I thought, there was no mention of a third car because he allowed her to go before the cops even arrived. Guys, you know what that means. The insurance goes sky high. But they had to determine if they was going to even keep me as a customer because of this. And at that point, I couldn't even blame them. You know what? Anything they said, I was going along with it, because just like the shit ain't make no sense to me, it couldn't have made no sense to these people. So they got that police report and they read it over, and they called me and they said, just like I said, he took the brunt of that accident because he was the car that hit from behind. There was no known third car. All right. So the last time we talked about it, he had a nerve to stand right front and center in front of me and tell me that everybody says that you are the reason why I even had the accident. And I'm like, well, how did they come up with that? And he goes, well, if you wouldn't have stopped me from cutting the hair in the house, I wouldn't have been out there to have an accident anyway. Y'all know I can't take this man serious no more at this point, right? I'm just looking at, girl, I'm piercing my eyes through him. I'm listening, but I'm piercing. And I'm like, the hell you say? Listen, I'm not trying to even hear that. You know, guys, I ought to share something with y'all. Nobody knows the story better than a person that wasn't even there, because none of them was there, but they got it all figured out. And this fool goes along with everything they say. He take it and he soak it up like a sponge and he bring it on home to me. Just so I can send him right up out my face to go and reconvene to go talk to them a little more and come back with some more foolishness. But would y'all believe that in that 3.5 weeks of completing that paperwork, I got to the end, they were making a decision as to if they were going to keep me on as a customer or not. And it was approximately 21 days. I'm telling y'all, I know it like the back of my hand because accident, when I got the phone call, it was 2 days before my birthday. And my birthday is around Thanksgiving, like I told you guys. Well, 3 weeks later, 21 days later, the week of Christmas, y'all ain't gonna believe what happened. All right, you take it too long. This fool had another accident. I know y'all saw the thumbnail, and you probably wonder why it switched from the headset to the keyboard, because he went on and had another accident. And baby, wait a minute, you ain't even ready for it. He totaled the car. He totaled it this time. So I guess they were right, kind of in their twisted way, or maybe they psych it, because remember they was talking about this check that was supposed to come in the mail. So once he totaled the car, quite naturally, they had to cut us a check for what they felt the car was worth. And I did get a check in the mail. I eventually got this check in the mail. So if I don't want to call them liars, I don't know what I want to call them, but they kind of was on point this time. Only they didn't know it was going to take another accident for me to get this check. So the check came in, and I had already forewarned him, but I don't think he believed me, that he was not getting that money. So what I did was I took that check and I put it into my bank account. And I had to contact several different insurance agencies. And it was kind of hard because remember, we're in the pandemic. Because you know what they said after that second accident, the car was totaled and they cut me my check. You know what they did? They cut me loose too. So now I have to look for insurance, not only for myself, but also for him, because he ain't going back on my policy. Listen, that was the law. That was the law. He was not going back on my policy. So I ended up finding insurance for the both of us, and I paid the down payment for the both of us. And they told this man, I don't know how they came up with a figure. They just told him that whatever it was that I said I got more than that. And I took advantage of him and took his money. Can you... I ain't discussed that with nobody. I ain't tell nobody no numbers. But I guess when he told them that I had to find insurance for him and then insurance for myself as well, they just figured I'd be him for his money. I mean, what would you do? Listen, please comment down below and tell me, am I crazy? Because sometimes, y'all, I really be around here pinching myself because I can't believe this shit is real. Oh, but it's real. It's really real. This man went and had another accident before we got it settled. Guys, thanks for tuning in.